Today I'm going to rank my top 10 Wonderkid Wingers on Football Manager 2022, and this is based on their potential, their current ability, their hidden attributes, that number one being professionalism, and of course, whether they're going to cost you a fortune or not. So don't expect to see some of the world's best wingers who are under the age of 21, because we're not going over 20, because there's just no point in telling you. You probably know who they are already. We're going to look at some of the lesser known ones and rank them 10 down to 1. Number 10, Stipe. From Croatia, 18 years of age at Hajduk Split. Maybe a team that I'll potentially do a rebuild on in the future. You guys seem to want to see that. He has some fantastic attributes for a young winger who is predominantly a left-sided player. Very strong right foot, reasonable left foot is what I like about him, and he has some fantastic attributes. Hidden in between though, he has a current ability of 104, and he's in that 160 potential range. Professionalism of 12, consistency of 12, important matches of 13, and that determination of 13 is fixed. You can see his value between 2.4 and 4.7 million pound, and if we ask for agent about the availability, he is around about the same price with a very low wage. Good pickup. Number 9, Jacob Kaminski. Very similar to number 10, Jacob Kaminski is a 19-year-old Polish winger who is predominantly on the left, cutting in on that very strong right foot, but he is a natural on the right side too, and can even play right wing back should you really need him to. Now, although I don't suggest doing that unless you are playing a very attacking formation and have some defensive roles in between that so he's not getting caught out, then maybe so, this guy could be fantastic for you. Because he does have some good physicals to bomb up and down the pitch, he has some great dribbling and crossing ability. Despite only being 19, he has a current ability of 110. His potential range again is in the 160, but his professionalism is 15. Consistency and important matches both 12, and that determination is fixed. 375k to 3.5 million pound at the Lech Poznan team. There we can see if we ask agent, it will cost you around about exactly the same, and an even cheaper wage, 1.9 to 2.6. Number 8, Andreas Sheldrup. A lot of you guys have been suggesting this guy to me in the comments for a while now, and I dare say he's probably high on your list, but he's not that high on mine. Still in 8th place though, he is fantastic, 17 years of age. The Norwegian, I would argue to say he looks better at a younger age than the previous two on this list, and that is definitely true. He has a current ability of 120, the highlights here being his physicals and that 15 for dribbling, passing of 14, and technique of 15. Still with some very good mental attributes as well. He cuts inside from the left wing where he is a natural, can also play up top should you need him to. He has good composure and decision makings for that, maybe not so much on the finishing. He is also in the 160 potential range, but professionalism is set to 15. Now, he has consistency of 10 and important matches of 0, but that determination is fixed. And it was quite controversial that I had to put him higher than the other two. The reason why I did that is because he has a slightly higher current ability with a better professionalism. So although the consistency in important matches is lower, that's the reason why he sits higher than the previous two. If we do ask agent for availability, he looks like he isn't going to come because maybe of a new contract or something, but 4 million to 5.4 million pound. To be honest, he has just signed a new contract, so it might take you a little bit longer to prize him away from Norgeland, but once you do, probably worth it. Number 7, Savio. The first Brazilian on this list, and playing from the right hand side, can play across the front three and even in behind should you really need him to, but that natural position is on the attacking midfield right. Very strong left foot with a weak left foot. Spirited personality, but we'll get to that. Good player traits like beat opponents and cuts inside from the right wing, has good determination and flair. Decent technicals. Now let's take a look at his current ability of 103. 17 years of age, so still loads of time to grow, and he's in the potential range of 170. A little bit higher than what we've seen. However, professionalism is only set to 12, consistency set to 11, and important matches is 0, meaning it's random. That determination, by the way, is fixed, and if we take a look, Athletic Mineiro is where you will get him from. You'll have to wait till he turns 18 before he joins, but 4.4 to 7.2 million pound is roughly what he will cost. Number 6, Rodrigo Marquez. Now, to look at, this player looks fantastic. However, he is 19 years of age, and you expect him to be slightly better maybe at the age of 19 than this would suggest. He has a current ability of 113. He's in that 160 potential range. Why is he above Savio, you ask? Well, he has professionalism of 15, and although consistency and important matches are both set to random, his determination of 17 is fixed too. We know that doesn't mean that he is going to be better at progressing, because determination has a very small influence on a player's progression to reach their potential, but it does have some effect, and it definitely has effect in how they play. They're going to be more determined to come back when a team's losing, for instance, and probably act better when you are criticizing them. They're determined to be better. So what does Rodrigo Marquez have in that Savio possibly doesn't? The fact that you can pick him up for a lot cheaper cost. Argentinian, of course, 425k to 4.3 million pound with a lot cheaper wage. That's probably the reason why he is sat in 6th place and not 7th. Number 5, Dorota Fufana. Now, yes, this guy does obviously have some very good strengths, but a lot of weaknesses. We can see physically he is great. A lot of 16s there, especially in natural fitness is obviously what you need, and in determination and flair, 16 and 17. But yes, there is a lot of weaknesses, especially in the mental attributes, and technically he isn't the best. Only 18 though, so there's still a lot of time. Give him a chance. He is predominantly a natural winger on the right hand side, but he can play up top if his attributes develop in ways that you would like him to play up there. He has a current ability of 107, and he's in that 160 potential range. So why is he above other players on this list? Well, he has professionalism of 15, consistency set to 16. Important matches is 0, which means it is random, but that determination is also fixed at 16. So let's take a look then. Contracted to Moda, 230k to 2.3 million pound. That is exactly what you'll be paying. 2.6 is the maximum to bring into your club. A steal. Number 4, Angel Alarcon. Now, there's no surprises that the Barcelona Youth Academy has created some fantastic wingers in the past, and that continues. This guy I'm very impressed with. He is a natural on both flanks. He has some fantastic attributes at the start of the game and some even better player traits. Gets into opposition area is one that I absolutely adore, especially for those low cut crosses at the back post. If he gets there, he will score a lot of goals. So let's take a look. Deeper dive into some of his attributes. He has a current ability of 100 in the 170 potential range. But how is he with his hiddens? Well, professionalism is set to 14, consistency set to 15, important matches set to 15, and that determination of 14 is fixed. Yes, he is fantastic, but what makes this player even better is that although he is at Barcelona, he has a minimum fee release clause of £5 million and 250k. That is a bargain. If you can prize him away and persuade him to join your club rather than stay at Barcelona, you are definitely laughing. Number 3, Elias Akmak. No, viewers, you're not suffering from deja vu. Elias Akmak is also a player who comes from La Masia, Barcelona's youth academy. Very similar to the previous player, however, he's a natural on the right-hand side and in that centre attacking midfield role. There are obviously sport for choices. Another 17-year-old Spanish winger who is absolutely fantastic. Looks slightly better on paper than Angel Alarcon, and I would say so because his current ability is 5 more at 105. He is also in the 170 potential range though, but what makes him slightly better, he has almost exactly the same hidden attributes. In fact, the ones that I'm going to highlight, they are exactly the same. Professionalism set to 14, consistency set to 15, important matches 15, and determination of 14 is fixed. So the only reason that would make him higher if he has slightly higher current ability, which he has, and if he costs a little less. In fact, he costs exactly the same. Again, the minimum fee release clause, £5.25 million is what he will cost you. And I think he looks slightly better and his player traits aren't bad. Maybe just give him that gets into opposition area and then he will match Angel Alarcon in those player traits, and he'll be just as good, if not better. Number 2, Raoulmorrow. Now, Spain are definitely gifted with a fair few amount of Wonderkid wingers on this game, aren't they? Because we have another one, 18 years of age. This time, though, he comes from Lazio's youth academy. 18 years of age, and I think this guy looks incredible, really, when you consider some of the attribute distribution that he has here. In that physicals, 15 for 3 of the attributes that we can see. A lot of 14s in the mentals, and they're all fixed too. And in the even in the technicals, 13 for dribbling, 12 for finishing, 13 for first touch. And natural on both wings with a fairly strong left foot and a very strong right foot. There are very few weaknesses that this player possesses, and what I like about him most is he actually trained at FC Andorra. How amazing is that? In the lower leagues of Spain. But now he is playing at Lazio. Obviously, he's going to cost you a little bit more. Before we look at cost though, his current ability is 118. He is again in that 170 potential range. His professionalism is set to 14. His consistency is set to 12. Important matches 13. And determination is set to 14. Now, he's not as cheap as the two players from La Masia, but I dare say he's probably easier to obtain. 5.8 to 8.4 million pound. You're probably going to manage to persuade this guy to leave Lazio more than you're going to persuade the last two to leave Barcelona, and that's probably the reason why he's set further above the other two, and the fact that I've actually used him and he's amazing. So I have a little bit of bias to Raoulmorrow. Number 1, Alan Velasco. Speaking of players I've used before, a guy who completely carried a whole rebuild on the back of his shoulders. Yes, the 18-year-old Argentinian winger from Independiente. A fantastic player. Current ability of 120, but he looks a lot better, doesn't he? There's a couple of 15s in there, but the attribute distribution is incredible. A natural on the left, a very good natural in the center attack in midfield. I've used him in both. He was great. Reasonable left foot, very strong right foot. Cuts inside from the left wing though, should you want him to get on that very strong right foot. Let's take a look though, because he's in the 170 potential range. His professionalism is set to 15. His consistency is set to 13. His important matches set to 14. And that determination of 15 is fixed. But what is the best thing about Alan Velasco is even though he has better mentals than all of the players that we've seen previously, he is even cheaper. 700k to 4.6 million pound. He is a steal. He is a bargain. He is the player you should be picking up at the start of all of your saves if you are slightly weak on the winger front. Alan Velasco is the best player on this list. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section. Remember, page.com/Omega Gaming. Should you wish to maybe vote on the rebuilds, or you want to save game files of the rebuilds, we're going to be setting you challenges now on to obviously see what you can do in the 5 years after I do my 5 years. Thank you very much to all my Patreon members. Thank you very much to everybody who subscribed recently, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.